Hey guys, welcome back to the JPM Performance channel. We are finally back after a 2-week hiatus for the next shop tour. This shop tour is sponsored by Sunoco Race Fuels. Sunoco is the only race fuel that I use, and you can go to racegas.com and find a distributor nearest you. Check it out. Here we are, getting towards the end of March already. Like I said, had a couple weeks off with John behind the mic, busy on vacations and work stuff, and I'm just trying to get everything done. So this is our first shop tour in like 3 weeks, so here we go. It's kind of interesting. So I had just gotten these completed. Some of you may recognize these plates. These are the Baffle Plates that Mazda Speed Motorsports sells. So you know where they get these? From me. So another 40 plates going out to Mazda Speed Motorsports. If you don't know what these plates are, they go into any NA or NB oil pan, and what you do is you remove the 5 bolts that hold the stock baffle plate down. You slide this into the bottom of the pan and you put your plate on top. So what this does is this takes up all the gaps in between the baffle plate and the edge of the pan, so on the racetrack or autocross course it helps keep the oil down into the bottom of the oil pan. So I'm going to get these packaged up and sent off to Mazda. You can go on to MazdaSpeedMotorsports.com and anybody can order these baffle plates, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. If you're not part of the Mazda Speed plan, I don't know why you're not. If you have a Mazda, you should. Go on to MazdaSpeed.com, get hooked up, get signed up as part of their program. Okay guys, let's get right into it here. While the generator's running in the background, it'll probably only last another 30 seconds or so, I'm hoping. So we've got a transmission disassembled here on the bench. Actually, kind of an interesting little failure here. Anybody has been around Mazda transmissions, you know that third gear is the weak one. So we had ourselves a failure here in the third gear. So we're going to be putting in a stronger set of gears for this go around, and that is going to solve this problem. So we're looking good there. Wade McBride's car has had a lot of work done to it. So Wade actually broke his power plant frame down at Coda. They ended up breaking the transmission, so he put in a new power plant frame and a different transmission, but then all of a sudden he had an oil leak. So I got it here, pulled the transmission out, and actually rigged up a deal where I could run just the starter, so I could start the engine, and couldn't really find anything, which makes me wonder if it only happens on the track under high RPM. But while I had it all apart, went ahead and changed the rear main seal, changed the valve cover gasket, changed the rear cap on the back of the cylinder head, and I'm hoping that this fixes our oil leak, but need to get it on the dyno and get that finished up. But he won't be running until Hallett, so I've got a little more time. In the meantime, we've got another one of these engines out of the Camaro sitting on the ground. So Steve actually had a really good time down in Road Atlanta a couple weeks ago. Actually finished third in the race. On Saturday there were a bunch of GT1 cars entered. Unfortunately, at the end of the race, this engine appears to have let go in some fashion. It went down on cylinders, doesn't turn over well. So, as you can imagine what I've been doing, I'm starting to get better at this. We have another engine installed. So, going to get this motor finalized onto the dyno, make sure everything's looking good, and going to be heading down to Hallett as well. So kind of need to get this rocking and rolling because I've got a bunch of engines that I really need to be working on. So we're actually looking pretty good. It's going back together. We need to make a drop gear change for the transmission and kind of go from there. Across on the other side of the shop, we have Bob Shader's car, which is completely done. Corner weighted, aligned, prepped, dynoed, I probably already said dynoed, maybe not. And then John did a really good job coming up with this new sticker package for the car on the sides. I still need to put the SCCA stickers on. We've got a really cool windshield banner on the top with the new Hoosier logo, and a really good, cool take on a number board for the side of the car. Kind of integrates into the Nismo decal here, so I think that's actually looking really cool. So I dig it. We're actually taking this car out to Heartland Park for a track day this Sunday to do our little shakedown and see if Bob can kick the rust off. So over here we basically have Mike Froh's car that's completely done. All I need to do is put the hood on and give it a clean up, and he will be here in a couple weeks. Brand new engine, upgrades done and dynoed, more horsepower than we've ever had in this car. So all of the development that I've been working on the last couple of years in these F production Miatas are starting to come to fruition. One of the reasons why we saw the cars really fast at the runoffs last year was some of the engine development that I've been working on over the last couple of years. So car's looking really good. I really love this car. I know I keep saying that, but the car's just beautiful. The powder coat and of course the new valve covers, everything's just beautiful. So Mike will be ready to, I think he's going to be going to Black Hawk for his first event, but he's coming down right before we head off to VIR, which is, I think in 2 weeks we'll be at VIR. So this is how time is flying by for me. In the meantime, also the BMW is not only on the ground, but she has been on the dyno, retuned for yet another smaller restrictor plate, so they keep pulling horsepower off this car year after year, trying to slow it down, but always have some tricks going on too. So car's 100% ready to go for Greg for VIR coming up in just a couple weeks. So a lot of work to do and not a lot of time to get it done in, but we will prevail. So appreciate you guys watching. Sorry it's been a couple weeks since we had one of these, but we're really rolling right into a hardcore meat of racing season coming up here. So we're gonna have lots of race reports and lots of bits and pieces coming at you in the next few weeks. But I always appreciate you guys watching. Have a great rest of your week. See you soon.